Hi guys. Last year I succeeded in breaking my long-lasting companion on both hikes and in everyday life, an Osprey Stratos 36. And the timing was particularly bad because I was going on a long walk just a fortnight after, so I had to quickly get a new one. And now I've used it for a year, so the question is, do I regret my choice of backpack? Tag along and find out. Hi guys, welcome to Red Swede Outdoors. After many years of both use and abuse, my old backpack gave in. Probably it's mainly my fault because I exceeded the recommended load not just a few times, and not just by a bit. The spec was a max carry of 18 kilos, and I exceeded that on a weekly basis. Like when going shopping for groceries and that sort. So it shouldn't really have been a surprise for me when the shoulder strap snapped clean off right at the seam. But if there is ever a good timing for these things, this definitely wasn't, because me and my wife, we have planned to go on the Camino from Porto to Santiago de Compostela. Neat little walk on 250 kilometers just a fortnight after, and I had really no alternative for a backpack. My tiny one, the 9 liters, it's too small for 3 weeks walking, and the larger one I use for overnighters and multi-day hikes. It's 85 liters, so it's way too big. The LK35, well, the dimensions, 35 liters, it's pretty good size, but it's way too heavy. It's like carrying a fridge. So I wanted something lighter, so I had to go down to the store and get me a new one. And a backpack is a bit like a new pair of hiking boots. You don't really want to break it in on a long hike. So when I found a newer model of my old backpack, I took the easy way out, because I figured if it's something like the old one, I know the quirks, I know the perks, and I know how to tweak things to fit me. And I had this quick look and I saw that the main features that I really liked with my old pack, they were still present. So I closed the deal, got it home, and I've been using it ever since for almost a year now. Well, the backpack did the job in the Camino, and it features in some of my videos, and keen eye spotted that was a piece of new gear in the videos, and gave me subtle hints that a review wouldn't go amiss. So here we are now. Let's take a look at this pack. As you can see here on the name, if I can get it visible on camera, yes, it's a Stratos 36, and as the name indicates, the pack volume is 36 liters. How much that is in cubic inch, I have no idea. I won't calculate it. You do the math yourself if you're so inclined. And it has 6 compartments, 7 if you include the little compartment for the rain cover. And first we have the top one, the main compartment, big, more or less. You can use all the pack for this one. And inside there's, let's see if I can get the camera. Here's a sleeve for a water bladder. And it fits extremely well with Osprey's own bladders, and that's what I used before, so no use in changing it. They have made some improvements. The way to hook the bladder up is dead simple. Just this little T-crossing, you pull it through the bladder and it sits nice. And the exit for the hose, you can, or the tube probably, you can choose either way if you want it on the left or right side, and it's easy to get a bypass on that one. The old one was a bit tight, it was always a struggle to get the tube through. This one is much better. Then we have at the bottom the secondary big compartment, and this flap here is kind of flexible, so you can get almost to a third of the main compartment to use for this one, and there's no access between. For some that's a back draw. For me, I think that it has its advantages if you have something you want to keep separated from everything else. For example, dirty laundry or a pair of shoes that tend to be dirty. Then you have them separated. So I think it's a good thing. If you want a secondary way to get hold of things in the main compartment, there is a zipper here on the side. So you can get to the bottom pretty quick. And if you organized your load in a way that knew where everything is, well, you'll probably find it pretty quick. Here at the back there's a flat panel. For me it's perfect for a sitting mat or a notebook and the likes, and I can fit a number of kitchen utensils in there, ladles and spoons and whatnot, things I want to get hold of quickly. And then we have the almost mandatory top compartments. This one is kind of spacious, and then we have on the inside also an inner top pocket in mesh with a little key holder. Good way to keep your keys handy. Mine tend to always get to the bottom of everything I packed if I put them there, so this is a good thing. And it's an ordinary drawstring, and it's pretty easy to get it open without any hassle. And on the hip belt you have these two small pockets, one on each side, for things you want in a hurry on the go. A bag of trail mix. For me, I usually keep my keys there. But bits and bobs you want to access when you're walking without taking off the backpack, you can put there. Small bits and bobs. It's very handy. And as I said before, on the far bottom you have included a rain cover in its own bag. And the rain cover is, I think, is pretty good. The backpack, as it is, the material, it can take a light drizzle for 15 minutes, 20, without getting soaked on the inside, but for a more extensive downpour I would recommend using the rain cover. This bag is not waterproof, somewhat water protected I would say, but still this does the job when we have a light drizzle, as we often do here. You have also got these straps at the bottom, so there is a possibility to hang something down here, a sleeping mat, a tent, a piece of tarp or a blanket or whatnot that doesn't fit. And then you have these compression bands so you can tighten up your backpack. And they also have these mesh pockets on the side for water. I tend to use one side for the water bottle and the other side I put my camera tripod, and the top compression keeps it in place. So 2 tripod, one big and one small. They fit beautiful down here, and you secure it with the top one, and it works very well for me. If you have that need, here is a strap and top strap for an ice axe. I never owned one, I don't think I will, but I guess an ordinary axe would work. But since I don't have a double-headed axe, I would probably put the head up top and secure it with a bungee cord. And it's pretty nifty, you can tie it up and it sits. So, but an ice axe is supposed to hang upside down, I've been told. So that's what I made it for. Another smart detail I like is that on the chest strap, on the buckle, there is a little emergency whistle. It's not loud by any means, but in a pinch it's handy. Like when you're out in the forest picking mushrooms, as one do, and get separated from your company and you want to get a hold of them. You can whistle this, and the tune carries better in the forest than your own voice. And if you're going to shout for a longer time, you tend to get hoarse. This saves you some problem. I will look at my notes, because now we come to the dimension, and you've seen my videos before. I can't really be arsed to memorize them. But the dimensions are height 71 centimeters, the width 37, and the depth is from front to back is 27. And it weighs roughly 1.5 kilo, 1.488 to be specific, but in my world that's 1.5 kilo. So it's perhaps not a lightweight bag. You can probably find lighter ones. I tend to argue though that a comfortable backpack that weighs a bit more is better than a lighter one that sits nasty. Because 1.5 kilo, when I put this on dry, nothing in it, I tend to forget it in a minute or two. It just tags along. And when you stuff it with things and the weight of the load goes up, for me it's very important that it sits just right. And you can adjust this pretty much freely. You have these hooks, so you can adjust the length from your hip to your shoulders to get the good height, and you can tighten it up here to get the kind of width of your shoulder, and then you tighten up the shoulders up so it sits close, somewhat close to your body, on with the hip belt and the chest strap, and you're golden, and it just follows you. I think apart from sharp corners in your shoulders and such, one thing I hate really much about a backpack is when it moves freely from you, like a pendulum. I want it to sit tight and follow my every movement. Anything else throws me off balance and goes a lot of extra energy to keep myself on my feet. So I think this one does a beautiful job. And while we're looking at the load-bearing harness, one thing that's kind of a deal breaker for me is the ventilation between my back and the backpack. And you can see here, it's a lot of room. I can pull my whole arm inside. And inside here you have some kind of metal threads. They're quite thin, but they're sturdy, and it's a bit spring in them. And this harder plastic here keeps its shape nice. So I can look between here So there's a lot of air flowing through it. And of course this system has a fancy name, I think it's airspeed they call it, but no matter what I call it, it works. And that's damn important for me, because if I have the backpack really tight on my back, it doesn't matter the temperature outside, I'm gonna sweat like a pig. Sweat is going to pour down my back, and it tends to get kind of nasty. So anything that alleviates that, that's a bonus for me. Another thing, kind of a deal breaker, but something the old backpack had that I really think, especially for the Camino, I couldn't really be without. It's this system. You see this little strap down here, and this one on the shoulder strap. With these two, you can take a pair of trekking poles while you're walking, attach them to your backpack, and then just follow. They sit from here and down beside your hip and out. And if they're not too long, they won't bother you. And you can tighten it up so it follows you in your movements, not dangling like in a string. You can shift between using your trekking poles or not on the fly. I think that's a smart feature. It wasn't a deal breaker, but I would have been disappointed if they had removed it. So I'm glad they kept it, and I think for their mid and larger sacks, I think that's a signature for Osprey, more or less. Perhaps it's an one-and-said idea, but Osprey was the first backpack I saw that had its feature, and I like it. I could say that this one could have been done a bit better. When you pull this strap, one of these cords always jumps out. I tried to pick it out and do it again, but I just resonated. This one lives outside, and that has to be fine. Obviously, you're not supposed to pull this little bubble. You're supposed to pull the strings. So, my bad. What to say more about this one? Something that I think has become a bit worse since the last month. It's actually a top pocket. This frame, as I said, is very sturdy, but it sits pretty high up in the pocket. And if you have packed everything, you have closed the lid, and you want to get something in the top pocket, it has to be something really small, like an envelope or perhaps a pencil. Anything larger, it will get stuck. It snugs too tight. So you actually have to open the buckles and alleviate the lid almost to here to get it out. And when you get to here, things tend to pour out. So that's kind of not their best design, let's just call it that. Apart from that, I must say I'm pretty satisfied with this backpack. For my day hikes, I can stuff it with everything I need, including camera equipment, and I still got room to spare. I mean, 36 liters, it's pretty generous in volume. For an overnighter, well, if I packed smart and went real lightweight, for example the mini or the triangle or something like that, and no excess of food stuff, going freeze-dried perhaps, I think I could get everything for an overnighter. I'm not too sure I could bring the camera kit, so mostly I would have to film by mobile, but you could do it. One night at least, maybe multiple, but I tend to take a larger backpack when I do overnighters. Because, I said it before and it still stands, I really don't like having things hanging outside my backpack. I see someone coming on overnighters and it's ornaments like a Christmas tree outside the backpacks, and it rattles and it jingles and sways, and maybe they like it, fine, but for me it's a nightmare. I totally hate it. I want things inside my backpack. The only thing that has a place outside, it's really the rain cover. So, time for some kind of verdict. Is it any good? As a whole, I must say I'm very satisfied with it. I'm pretty spoiled with Osprey. I had a few. I think they tend to have smart design. Some features have been a bit worse. The top pocket, for one, it took a while to get adjusted to the new shape of the harness. But when I got it fixed, I really like it. I think it's probably more good than the old one, because this is more stiff, more rigid. And when you get it just right, it just follows you without any problem. It takes some time to get it fitted for you, so you feel I'm really satisfied. At least 1 or 2 days walking to really see that, well, now I'm good. But then I'm really satisfied. The hip belt is kind of rigid. I think that's both good and bad. It's a bit padded, so it's comfortable. And like the other harness, if you get it just right, it's perfect. But it's a bit fiddly to get it there. And the shape of the harness makes it kind of iffy to get it on easily. It's all, we've got a real full backpack. You want it to just slide over like an old sweater, and it kind of resists you to get it just right. If you have a watch, for example, it's bound to snag at the shoulder strap, even if you extend it to the maximum. But that's small details. So in all, I think this is a damn good backpack. I'm really satisfied with it, and if you're going for a backpack that, well, it's a pretty penny to buy one, but it's not in any stretch the most expensive ones. I wouldn't call it a budget, it's mid-range somewhere on the backpacks. But I think you get a lot of backpacks for your money. If you look at the most expensive one, they may be a bit better, but not that much better than the price tag says. So a damn good pack, and it's kind of affordable, and I abused the old one for 10 years. I basically wore it every day. Shopping groceries, I took it to the gym, to work, hikes, and as I said, I often exceeded the limit of how much you were supposed to put in it. Just kind of cram things down. No attention to the weight or if it really fitted. And it stuck with me for quite a long time. So I would say it's a good investment. And according to the website, all materials, plastic materials, nylon and such, are recycled materials. So if that's a deal breaker for you, the environment, you have a plus there too. I think one of the best things you can do for the environment is get good quality that sticks with you for a damn long time. And don't buy new stuff all the time. And replace the old one because it was so and so. But it checks the somewhat environment friendly box too. Everything that's new produced, well, is it environment friendly? Probably not. Buy a used one if you can. And another little detail. I think it's the mesh pockets on the side for bottles. They are snug. Nothing escapes there. And I guess it's a good thing. But it's with the frame and the snug opening. It's a bit fiddly to get things inside. It's not like you put your hands down and pull up the bottle from it. Yeah, you really need two hands to get something out of that mesh pockets. If it's good or bad, well, depends on how you tend to use it. But and when you pack it, you probably should fill your side pockets first, because they kind of occupy the same space as things in the pack, since it's a soft wall. It's not a big bulkhead, and it follows the shape of the sack pretty much. So it competes with the stuff in the main compartment. So fill your side pockets first before packing. Then you can take things in and out. Yes. So the Osprey Stratos 36. I'm happy with my choice. Damn happy. I played it safe. I might have found a better backpack if I had more time to shop around. Now I didn't even look very much at the competition to see if I can find something better, because I knew the old one was good enough for me and I'm familiar with it. So, and time was of the essence. I'm not totally sure I would do a different choice if I had more time, but there's always a possibility. So Osprey, I think it's a trustworthy brand of backpacks. Well, I think I'll reach the end of the line here. I feel I've been all over the place ranting about this backpack. But I hope you can make heads or tails of it. And if you like the video, feel free to give me the thumbs up. You know, it helps both spreading the video and helps the channel in all. So I greatly appreciate that. And I would really like your comments on backpacks in particular today, but anything you like really. But what features are a must-have for you on a backpack? What's a deal breaker when you look at the backpack and everything is good except for this one thing, and it's a no-go for you? I would love to hear that. Or a feature that you just can't stand. I've met people that say, oh, I couldn't ever think of wearing a backpack in this or that color, no matter how good and cheap it is. What's your preferences and what's your no-goes? And if you're not yet a subscriber, well, you might consider pressing that bell, and you will get a notification when I'm out for new shenanigans. Mostly outdoors. Today is an exception, but what else? But until next time, take good care. I'll catch you. Cheers.